violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
News digging for details after a teen is murdered on the campus of LeBron James' I Promise school.
Yeah, the 17-year-old student was beaten to death in the school parking lot late last night.
Dang. It's like that, LBJ. It's like that, King. You got folks getting beat up in the parking lot of your school. That's ghetto, man. Beat to death. That's a new low. Okay? That's a new low. And, you know, they're saying it's LeBron's school. This is a public charter from my understanding. So it's a public school. Okay? It's not LeBron's school. He may be the face behind it, but the funding is coming from the state. Okay? He might do some donations, throw out some scholarships here and there, but man, it's it's crazy out here, man.
Harry Boomer has breaking details, joins us now from Akron. Harry.
That's right. I'm standing outside the basketball court here at the I Promise school. It's important to note that it did happen late last night. Some guys were just using this basketball court when some other guys pulled up and things got way, way out of hand.
Our friend just got knocked out. Okay. We don't know what to do.
It turned out to be a lot worse than being knocked unconscious. 17-year-old Ethan Lemming died after being brutally beaten in the parking lot of the I Promise school. Akron Police Lieutenant Michael Miller.
We believe there were at least 3 males that participated in the fight.
3 super gremlins on demon time.
Assault, because to the extent of this outcome, it is being classified an assault and being investigated as a homicide.
Lieutenant Miller says Ethan was with several friends when they rode up to the basketball court around 10:40 or so Thursday night.
There may have been some horseplay.
So it sounds like they were pulling up for midnight basketball, right? They pulling up for midnight basketball and it turned sour.
Involved in that group, directed at members that were already at the site playing basketball, and then it escalated from there. Essentially, obviously, no filter, no restraints, and it led to the young man's death.
One young man was heard on this 911 call trying to de-escalate the situation.
Hey, man. We're sorry, man. We didn't mean it.
The I Promise school was founded by the LeBron James Family Foundation. The NBA star is from Akron. Here's what he tweeted. Our condolences goes out to the family who lost a loved one. May the heavens above watch over you during this tragedy.
That's it. That's all we get from LeBron. A tweet. No threats. No "you're next" tweets. Just send your condolences, huh?
Pray for our community. His family foundation responded with this statement. Our community is everything to us. We were devastated to learn of the overnight incident that saw a life lost near our school. We are grieving with our community over another senseless act of violence. Our campus is safe and secure, and we continue to do everything we can to support our students, families, and the entire Akron community. The school itself is a part of the Akron Public School District. Ethan was a student at Firestone High, where he played football.
He was very beloved, very gifted student and athlete, and so you can imagine the impact it has on the school community.
And this is what I'll say. If you're a glider and you're in the community, you know, you got teammates, you're playing sports, you're competitive, and you're actually just as good or close to good as some of those other athletes, there's a lot of jealousy in the community. Okay? A lot of these dudes feel some type of way if, for instance, they're playing basketball and a white boy crosses them up. Okay? or if, you know, the white boy shoots a 3 in their face and he's, you know, jaw-jacking just like they would, okay, if they would call him all types of, you know, all types of names, man. I mean, if you ever played sports, you know how, especially a sport like basketball and football, you know how they treat the white boys on the court, okay? They definitely give them hell. And it's like they kind of have to prove themselves when they're on the court. That's a real thing. That's a real dynamic. And if they're actually good and they're actually talented and they show up and show out, you know, these super gremlins can easily build envy, build jealousy, and get violent.
Have been made yet, although police know who the males are involved in the beating death. They say they're going to continue to investigate and charge and arrest as necessary. In Akron, Harry Boomer, 19 News.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Damon Maloney coming to you from the 19 News Now digital studios. We have been following breaking news since this morning. We got word from the Akron Police Department that a teenager was found unresponsive and pronounced dead on the campus of the I Promise School in the city of Akron. This, of course, is the school that was founded in 2018 and opened its doors by NBA star LeBron James and his family foundation in partnership with the Akron Public Schools. This right here is a map of the area. It's 400 West Market Street. That is the school. If you're familiar with this area, it is right across the street from the McDonald's here, and that is where the I Promise School is at. Earlier, we told you that a 17-year-old boy was found dead in the parking lot of the school. There was a fight on the property, according to Akron police. And this teenager was, in their words, brutally assaulted and pronounced dead there on the scene. Again, a 17-year-old boy. The medical examiner's office is in the process of doing an autopsy, and the 17-year-old's name has not yet been released. We just got into our newsroom moments ago, the 911 call that a group of friends of this victim made after he was assaulted. This was near the playground, near the basketball courts, the parking lot area of the I Promise School in Akron there. Take a listen to the call. We did remove the teenager's name. The dispatcher asked, what is your name? Where are you at? We are not airing that, obviously, because it is a child.
Wow.
And it does not further the story here. But again, here is the 911 call that one of the victim's friends made to police asking for help.
And shout out to this friend. That's a good friend right there. I wish they would have been able to stop what happened to him, but at least he called the police, man, because a lot of these dudes would not.
Oh, we're at King School, or no, we're at the I Promise School in Akron, Ohio.
Okay.
Our friend just got knocked out.
Okay.
We don't know what to do.
What is your name? Okay, is there a fight happening there now?
Hey, man. We're sorry, man. We didn't mean it. Sorry, what was that?
You hear him? He's apologizing to the Super Gremlin. We're sorry. We didn't mean, like, come on, man. That's what I'm telling you guys. They're not going to take accountability, and then they bully others into silence. They bully others into making it seem like it's their fault, when the only fault or the only onus that should be laid upon these super gremlins on demon time.
Is there a fight going on?
There was.
Okay, are the other people still there?
Yeah, it's all good. It's okay, though. It's cool now. It's cool now.
Okay. Is your friend unconscious?
Yeah.
Is he breathing?
Is he breathing? Yeah. Yeah, he's breathing. He's breathing.
Okay. Are you with him now?
Yeah.
How old is he?
I'm not trying to fight, though.
How old is he?
What was that? I can't fight. I can't.
How old is he? Hello?
He's 17.
He's 17? Hello, are you still here?
So at this point, the dispatcher loses connection with this person who
Hello?
called 911. You hear them asking if anybody's on the line, saying hello. And then a little later on here, the dispatcher actually calls the number back and there is no answer. So again, there's a homicide investigation underway in the...
So, I don't know exactly what happened, but maybe this dude isn't such a good friend. I'm just hypothesizing on what could have happened. And it sounds like to me that they may have told him, you know, hang up the phone. Okay, stop snitching. When they literally could have saved this kid's life.
City of Akron, after a teen was killed, found unresponsive and pronounced dead on the property of the I Promise school in the parking lot. This is in Akron. Of course, this is the school founded by LeBron James. Many of you guys are asking on social media, why are we mentioning that? That is where this crime happened, on the school campus. That information.
And you hear what he's saying many people, it's just black Twitter, right? Why are you mentioning it's LeBron's school? Cause he need to speak up about this shit. He don't want to speak about nothing else. All right, unless it involves a deranged person trying to stab another woman, okay, in Ma'Khia Bryant.
Coming to us directly from police, and it is relevant given the fact that it's a school property. This happened last night around 10:43 is when police got the information that there was some kind of a fight there. And
see, in the community, they don't even want you to report on this stuff. Why y'all mentioning this LeBron's school? Because it's relevant, bitch. Sorry. Excuse my friend. Man, I'm getting demonetized. Sorry.
They got there and found this teenager dead. Right now, they are working to notify the victim's family members, and they have not released an exact cause of death, only saying that this teenager was brutally assaulted. We do want to mention that the Akron Police Department, they are looking for information. They say that there were 3 males who were already there at the school. They were on the basketball courts when this teenager arrived with a group of friends, and there was some sort of a fight. They don't know what this fight was over, but this teenager was knocked unconscious and was found unresponsive in the parking lot of the I Promise school. I did talk to the Akron Police Department just moments ago, and they say right now they do not have in possession any surveillance video. But the lieutenant who talked to me says that the property does have surveillance cameras that would capture the outside environment of the I Promise school. But right now they are working to get their hands on that surveillance video so they can go through it to see if it reveals anything, if it shows this attack that happened last night. We're going to show you again this property. This is on 400 West Market Street in Akron. And also there is a McDonald's right across the street. There was a woman on social media commenting that she works at the McDonald's and she often sees kids playing on the basketball courts, and she was mentioning that she hopes it wasn't one of the regulars that they have come to that property and play basketball. Again, this happened last night, 10:43. For those of you who are not familiar with the I Promise school, this is a school that LeBron James founded along with his foundation, and they run this in partnership with the Akron Public Schools. They opened their doors in 2018. And they have students that attend classes there 3rd through 7th grade, and they are working on plans to expand additional grades as time goes on here. But really, this is a community asset and set up in a way that LeBron James wanted to tackle a lot of the issues that plague students, too many students in that area in the city.
And this isn't a good start to tackling those issues, okay? This isn't a good start. You got these super gremlins beating a glider athlete to death. You know? Is that the promise that they're talking about? I promise that these super gremlins will be on demon time.
City of Akron wanted to offer wraparound services and a one-stop shop for families to really get the resources they need to help their students be successful and go on to college. The foundation itself has programs for high school students where they award scholarships and really encourage students to stay the course and continue their education. But this morning we are following the breaking news. A teenager found dead on the property of the I Promise school in the city of Akron. We have some information here on your screen. Again, the medical examiner conducting an autopsy found in the parking lot. According to the detectives here, this victim was brutally assaulted. And this is how it went down. They say last night they got a 911 call, and they learned from the victim's friends that they had showed up at the I Promise school, and there were 3 males already at the basketball court area. There was a fight, and this 17-year-old boy was knocked unconscious, and he was found unresponsive when police got there. And again, we just got the 911 call that one of the friends made, and I want to play that for you again. We have not... We have removed the part where he gave his name to the dispatcher because he's a child, a minor, and we're going to play this 911 call for you here.
Nightmare will never end. Our family will never be whole. This student body will never be whole again.
A family is praying the 3 men who killed their teenage son are caught. The 17-year-old beaten to death outside LeBron James' I Promise school. Our Caitlin McCarthy is live with their desperate plea for the teen's killer to come forward. Caitlin.
Well, Tiffany, that's right. This is a nightmare no one should have to go through. The family tells me there was a potential witness with the killers the night 17-year-old Ethan Liming was beaten to death. He was a rising senior here at Firestone High School, and everyone who knew him says he had a bright future.
He liked to experience life and everything it had, so he was looking forward to graduating next year and going to Ohio State. He had some friends already going there, so he really wanted to go there.
17-year-old Ethan Liming was supposed to be on his way to his first college visit this weekend, but his bright future was taken from him late Thursday night.
We're just praying that people will have the courage to say something.
And the unfortunate thing is the street code is in full effect. Even the guy who made the 911 phone call, the supposed friend, he actually might recant his statement. He actually might not go through with the testimony. That's how ingrained the street code is, the no snitching policy in the community, to where a dude won't even give up the details on who killed his friend. These super gremlins are on demon time.
The men who murdered my son were playing basketball at the LeBron James I Promise school that night, so people know.
Investigators say shortly after Ethan and his friends pulled into the school parking lot, they got involved in a fight with 3 men. They haven't said what might have triggered the fight. Even after Ethan was beaten unconscious, the 3 men continued to beat him until he was dead. His friends tried to get help to save his life, but it was too late. This nightmare is affecting...
Where the hell was his friends? Why didn't they break the fight up?
...everyone who looked up to him.
For his little brother, Noah idolized his older brother. I mean, he showed him everything about baseball.
Ethan's stepmom, Cindy Liming, says there was allegedly a female with the killers at the time of the beating.
Our nightmare will never end. Our family will never be whole. This student body will never be whole again. And she holds the key to part of this.
Ethan's family prays no one else has to experience this pain. They'll do whatever it takes to find him justice.
We will do the very best to put an end to this, and just that we love him, and we just never, he didn't deserve this. He didn't do anything wrong.
And Akron police are encouraging anyone with information on the suspects to come forward, and you can do so anonymously. We'll have that information in this story on Cleveland19.com. Reporting live in Akron, Caitlin McCarthy, 19 News.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting
just took place. Excuse me, I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo!
Whoa.
Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit
That's
on.
that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
We have new details tonight about the death of a 17-year-old in Akron. Police shared what they believe happened in the moments leading up to Ethan Liming's death and the role a toy gun may have played. Tonight, our Isabel Lawrence sits down with Ethan Liming's father, what he says about his son and the changes he wants made.
He was my sidekick ever since he was little.
A father-son duo. Bill Liming describes his 17-year-old son Ethan as smart, loyal, and with an arm like a cannon. A rising senior at Firestone CLC in Akron, Ethan was already excited about college.
We just joked around. I was like, Ethan, you just have to make it through one more year. And it didn't happen.
Ethan was killed, brutally beaten to death.
Like, we are forever broken. We're forever broken.
Ethan Liming did not deserve to die that night.
According to police, the night of June 2nd, a group of 4 juveniles, including Ethan, pulled up in the parking lot of the I Promise school near the basketball courts. At least 2 of them got out and started shooting this, a splatter ball water bead blaster gel gun in the direction of a group of 4 people playing basketball.
My son died because of a toy.
So his little friends that was with him thought it would be cute to spin the block on the basketball during midnight basketball, or a midnight session, if you will. And it did not end well at all. Okay? And then you'll have these people talking about Tamir Rice and why did the police shoot him? Well, why did these guys beat this young glider male up over a toy gun? These super gremlins are on demon time.
And for being just goofing around as a teenager.
The gun, labeled for ages 14 and up, shoots beads soaked in water which burst on contact. Eventually, a confrontation occurred.
Ethan Liming is assaulted and a fight ensues.
Ethan didn't make it. Police are following leads and hope to identify suspects soon. They said as of right now, there is no indication race played a role. Ethan's family desperately wants
Cap. That's cap. I guarantee it's cap.
answers.
We're in a sick world, but we can figure this out and we can make this a better place. And I just wish Ethan would have been a part of that better place.
Now, Ethan's father told me his son was so loved, and that's clear when you take a look at the memorial behind me here at the baseball field outside of his high school. Now, police today wanted to dispel any rumors that race somehow played a role in this incident. They call the investigation active still and fluid, and we're grateful for the community members who have come forward with information. But tonight, police and Ethan's family begging anyone who knows anything to please share and get answers, Laura.
All right, clearly a lot more to this story. Isabel, thank you.
He had a lot of life. He cared about everybody. He had so many friends that cared about him.
Friends, classmates, and family of 17-year-old Ethan Liming gather outside Firestone High School on Tuesday in support of each other.
From the time Ethan was a real little kid, he's always been at my side to go help people. In sub-zero weather, he'd be down at Grace Park as a 7-year-old even, either picking up trash or feeding homeless people.
It still feels like a dream, kind of. Still feel like I'm going to see his car pulling down the driveway and come back eventually.
Liming was literally beaten to death outside the LeBron James I Promise School late Thursday while he was there with friends.
And they went to that location and there was some type of horseplay being done or possibly directed at members who were at the basketball playground. And it escalated from there.
The guys who attacked my son were playing basketball there that night, so they were there, up there, hanging out, and people were playing basketball against them. People have to know who they are.
That's not something that you can just like process, like, cause it's like it just happened, like. Like I was just with him yesterday and like today, like.
Liming was alone when authorities arrived on the pavement where police say the beating continued after he was unconscious. His family and friends on Tuesday appealing not only to the public, but to...
And this is how brutal these super gremlins are. They already knocked him out, but they kept beating him. Oh man. It's disgusting, bruh.
The killers themselves.
Like come forward, like come forward. Somebody know what happened. So, and he didn't deserve it, like.
I don't want any other family to have to go through this. I don't want any other child to have to die this way. Whoever did this to him, he didn't deserve it. Nobody deserves it.
In Akron, Dave Nethers, Fox 8 News.
There are new developments this evening in the beating death of a teenager outside the I Promise school in Akron last week.
Police are releasing new details about what led up to the murder of 17-year-old Ethan Liming. News 5's Bob Jones is in Akron tonight with the latest.
17-year-old Ethan Liming lost his life in a senseless act of violence. Ethan did not deserve to die.
Akron Police Chief Steve Milet releasing new details surrounding the horrific beating death of Ethan Liming.
And the thing is, they said it wasn't racial, but if it wasn't racial, didn't his friends have the fake guns too? Why didn't they beat them up either? And why didn't those friends, so-called friends, jump in and defend the boy, man? Come on.
Who was an honor roll student and athlete at Firestone High School. Investigators say they're following promising leads on the suspects.
And my hope is that we're going to identify suspects soon.
The chief also revealing the moments leading up to the tragedy. He says Ethan was with 3 other juveniles, and at least one of them fired this splatterball water bead blaster in the direction of other teens or young men playing basketball in the I Promise parking lot Thursday night. The chief displayed a similar toy gun, describing how it works.
You soak it in water, and then you load this, what they describe as a toy gun, and it shoots these water beads at people.
Milet says that led to people from both groups running towards a car and the deadly parking lot fight.
Ethan Liming is assaulted and a fight ensues. At the conclusion of it, Ethan Liming is dead.
We spoke again today with the father of Ethan Liming, who continues to urge the public to come forward with any information leading to his son's killer or killers. He also reacted to the news police released today about the toy gun.
Don't lose your life over a toy gun. And if somebody thought it was a real gun, they wouldn't be alive today. If it was a real gun, they would have been shot. It wasn't a real gun. It was.
Man, they knew it wasn't no real gun. If the glider boys shot the gun, they probably just felt highly disrespected that a glider fake spun the block on them and wanted some get back, and they went way too far. Okay, and that's that.
It's a toy. It was teenagers being teenagers. My son should not be murdered, brutally murdered, and beaten to death because of a toy.
Police are not releasing any description of the suspects, but stressed race does not appear to be a factor at this time.
There is nothing that we have in our possession right now, any information at all, indicating that race played a role in this homicide. Nothing.
Detectives continue to evaluate evidence and review surveillance video from the I Promise school and nearby businesses as they work to track down Ethan's killer or killers. His dad says that can't happen soon enough.
We'd do anything we could possibly do to turn the clock back and have him in my arms again and to see his face again, but they robbed me of that, of even that ability.
In Akron, Bob Jones, News 5.
gang violence and other kind of violence.
So it is what it is.